Hello YouTube, it's Team Endgame here, bringing you a new discussion on what was commented as the new break rides and future break rides and how they're going to affect the current meta. So I'm going to put it over to Aaron and he can initiate said discussion.
Initiate?
Yes.
Okay, well...
And you can continue and I'm going to go sit over here.
First break ride we got would be Bermuda Triangles.
How'd that work out?
I hate it.
Really?
Yep. I actually hate it. It's such a...
It's not rubbish.
It isn't rubbish.
What does the effect do?
The effect is limit break 4 when another Bermuda Triangle bloody blah rides this card.
It has to be a bloody blah.
There be a bloody blah, yes.
It has to be a Bermuda triangle. It doesn't matter about prism or whatnot. It can just any Bermuda.
Yes. You choose one of your Vanguards, because apparently you have more than one. It gets 10k, and then you can bounce 2 of your Bermuda Triangle rear guards and draw a card.
It's a 1-for-1 trade, really.
Well, I think it's actually draw a card, then you bounce, then you give 10k, but it's not into that.
You can do it all at the same time anyway. But it sounds, from the outset, good. It sounds useful to what Bermudas do because all the time they 8k woman just to bounce, soul charge, counter blast, draw,
rear.
Yes.
It sounds like it's useful for them, but I imagine it was mainly going to be used in a Prisma build where it doesn't seem to help because basically you're putting the game. The way he's telling your opponent, when do you want me to push?
Yeah.
When do you want me?
And there's my issue. I like the idea of break rides. They sound like very powerful cards, but my first impression on them after using Bermudas, it's all up to your opponent. If you're riding a break ride, your opponent then controls the game because you have no control when you re-ride. And they can keep you off that 4 damage.
Basically, unlike a limit breaker, you have to be on 4 damage before the ride, so obviously damages don't work.
Yeah.
So it's
unless you're angle fail.
So I'm not going to give it to you if. Another thing is you have to have a grade 3, the amount of times.
Yeah, you have to find enough. That's the thing. A lot of times I found in a game, sometimes I find only just one grade 3. And that's if that's my ride break, it's doing nothing. It's just sitting there going, well, I'm at 4 now. I'm at 5 now. I'm at 5. I'm still not finding a grade 3. Okay. And I'll happily use it as a
They're nice that they can hit 13 if their skills are active. They will have certain ones that are specific to the clan. So Bermudas, like other cards, I need to have 4 or more Bermudas on the field for it to get the extra 2k boost. Kind of annoying because it doesn't happen most of the time.
It's not as restricting as Prism and things. Prism required actual prisms.
Well, I'm not talking about prisms, it's just the break rides, but...
I know, but it was initiated for that. A lot of people use it for that.
They use it with that.
Getting past all that, assuming that I actually get to the 4 damage and can re-ride for the break ride, I draw a card, so I turn that extra grade 3 into another card, which is nice. I can bounce 2 cards, which is only good if they are cards that combo with being bounced, otherwise you're doing it for no reason at all.
Yeah, they basically have enough space for Labradoodle.
Yeah, for Labradoodle.
Yeah, if you're using it with Labradoodle. I'll call it Labradoodle for you, okay?
Fair.
So, yeah, if you're doing it with Labradoodle, it frees up the space for them. If you're using it with a different deck...
You have to hope for Rio and stuff.
You can run Kareen if you want to, but that takes up grade 3 space. Is it worth it? I don't know.
Well, for the first one we get, on paper you look at it and you're like, right, I use it with Labradoodle, it gets 10k. I use Labradoodle's effect, I get another 10k, and I get a crit. So I'm attacking for it's 31, isn't it?
Yeah. Perfect guard, Yuri. Perfect guard.
Yeah, it's 31 with a crit, but it's only got the crit thanks to Labradoodle's effect. Otherwise, it's just.
The thing is, I wouldn't give it to you unless I did have a perfect card.
Yeah, you wouldn't willingly go right attack 4 damage. I have 1 card in hand.
Yeah.
You wouldn't. You would just go attack. I've got a perfect card in hand, so all your power, big whoop.
Pretty much.
So that's where
that's because of Labradoodle, as you said.
But that's the only sort of threat. Otherwise, your Vanguard is going to be swinging normally with a big number.
Yep.
It is 11k though. That's nice.
That's the only thing I like about it. It's 11k. It's not 10k.
So as long as the rest of your deck's doing something, then break rides are absolutely dandy.
But prisms don't, so it sucks.
So yeah.
Well, also you can compare it to the Toronto results, where they're like the third most used clan?
Yeah, third used. I think it was 9.7% of all clans used there were
Bermuda Triangles. And they didn't come in the top 4.
That's the 3rd most used deck in Toronto's, and they were nowhere near top as far as I'm aware.
Although I will point out that Kagura and Gold were the most used and second most used,
And they weren't.
and they weren't in the top 4 either.
But I think that.
So unlike the original regionals, it doesn't look like the most decks are topping.
Well, I think it comes down to like where the game is.
Well, my main reason I think they were using it at the very least was because it's such a simple excuse, but it's probably true. If you spend that much on a deck, like MLB and the end, to do playing teams, people are like, well, I've paid this deck now, I'm just going to use it. And also, if you paid out for Bermudas because you thought they were broken, you're like, I'm going to have to use them now.
They're
I can't justify.
They're not expensive.
Well, still, if you didn't have the deck originally, you need to go out and buy it.
But
And in fact, you wanted to use a Bright Break as well because people thought it was silly.
yeah, everyone fears that, thinks the whole, I'm getting plus 10k, I'm going to destroy you because, you can't guard this if you do it heavy. Well,
No guard, it's 1 damage, unless you get a crit and drive check.
Yeah.
Which, believe me, doesn't happen most of the time as much as you'd think it would.
And there's so many easy ways to counter it. So, like, if you're going against Prisma, you can easily say, right, I know I'm against Labradoodle. I know how to stop it. So I can just, like, swing over your front row.
Swing over regards, don't give them limit break. Oh, look at that, you can't do it because it's not limit break. Harder.
It's just... But then, surely... Because decks which did win in Toronto were sort of rush decks.
Yes.
Right?
Alright.
So, if you're rushing, why don't you think that surely like if you have a break ride, if you're being rushed, surely you don't mind being
But
rushed?
who keeps the grade 3 in their hand that early? A second grade 3?
Well, if they found a second grade 3.
Yeah, that's another problem.
Yeah,
All the times I used it, I only found the one. It says, break ride. I've got nothing to re-ride with.
But also, if you like the Bermuda one especially, if you break ride the break ride, you aren't getting much out of it.
No.
There are some in the future which do get.
Yeah, 10 and 11 have a few of those.
Yeah, 10 have a few of those. The one in the structure deck for golds
Yes.
is pretty good in that sense. The one for Narukami you can sort of do as well.
That's okay.
But it's the Bermuda's one is just I draw, get 10k. I'm not getting a crit, I'm not doing this, it's just...
You can draw more if you do the bouncing with Rio or something,
Yeah.
but again, that requires setup, which you're probably not going to have.
Depending on the build, I guess.
And people, if you have Rio out, you have to put it out of the back. Because if people see it and the break ride, they're going to swing over it. Why would they go, I'll just easily let you have an easy plus? And it's 8. Anything swings over 8. It's just, I don't think the Bermuda one is, I don't think it's as great as everyone said it was.
No, and it reflects in the attitude that I've seen. The amount of people who picked it up and gone, I don't like it, I need to shift it.
Yeah, the amount of people just picked it up and then like a few weeks later were like trying to shift it off because...
I don't like it. It's not...
As opposed to, oh my god, Beast Deities won Toronto, everyone starts picking them up.
Yeah.
Which is quite funny to see.
And playing them, they are a little silly. But we're talking about break rides.
No, just saying.
But we did go ask about the meta though, so it reflects on that.
Yeah.
So you can't... The ones that we used weren't topping because we think that the meta's speeding up and they're not fast enough anymore. They're enough to compete, but yeah, it seems that the early drop, the Aquaforce, the Beast Deities, Novas,
Yeah, and
they seem to be
and yet I
silly.
still don't know how Narukami are up there.
I don't know Narukami up there now because
That's slow.
I mean,
Yeah, but it's...
we went to a tournament today and I didn't have a problem with them. You had a problem with them. That was because you had a 10k.
That's because my 10k Vanguard.
Yeah, the 10k Vanguard, but also you manipulated your hand to get the guard in your hand, but you didn't have the front row and you just wipe them.
Yes.
So you're like, okay.
But yeah, I lost because 10k Vanguard, which is a problem.
It
No
also
matter.
is-
It's not good enough.
It's the whole, if you rush Narukami, their limit break takes out your front row, which is a pretty good thing to do because it stops that rush for next turn unless you drop more.
If you include your guard, if you think about it, if you perfect guard it, you've lost 4 cards in one attack.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's
Like that's where if you rush them, they aren't too. They're annoyed because they don't. Only the blood gets the crit, but they can still push. Their push back takes out your front row.
Yeah. So obviously against it, you wouldn't play your best cards straight away.
No,
Just
you
to try and
shouldn't
intimidate him to do
I
it,
mean, I
but-
usually play my grade 3s early on to get past that because I'm not really losing guard or anything. But
Should be having more than one grade 3. Because that's the original point. How do you find grade 3s normally?
I draw cards. You know what I'm like.
I use the retro police and they just all come to my hand. It's It's lovely.
Yeah, the Deutsche plays it quite well.
And Mike only ever finds one, and that's it.
Yeah.
But then, like, coming up, well, set 11, technically the structure that one's next, which
Well,
is gold and...
Going off of that, because that's coming into the future, going back to how the meta is now,
Yeah.
since set 9, that's where it all changed. Cross strikes galore, 11Ks across the board. Decks like Oracles, my main deck, doesn't really work anymore, as I found out. 10Ks are just too easy to abuse. I can't hit over anything with my 10Ks.
Well,
Decks like Great Nature, all are very powerful. Again, still can't do it because of the 10K.
It's got a duck bill, man.
Yeah, it's got duck bill, it's got draw power, but...
It's got duck bill, it doesn't have to draw. You just play it and people are like, no.
Well, can you have 10k and still guard and have a big enough hand to guard things? That's why Great Nature, I think, is competitive, because it does have a hand to guard things.
Yeah,
so
it's
does
the
Oracle,
ability to
but-
drop and bounce.
But I understand what you're
That's why it
saying, but it's the
works.
same issue. I feel that way with Oracle.
Yeah, but you go for one plus. You go for one sort of section of plus. Whereas Great
From there,
Nature,
I beat them there.
It's competitive in the sense that it's early damage, but it's not because it can't last like for a long time.
It can, but
But one of your problems
it's very
was they
reliant
heal.
on what happens. Example, today he healed a lot.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I healed a lot and I crit a lot. But it's not the point. If they heal and slow down the game, Oracles can't handle it because they're not plussing anymore. I'm wasting my pluses through the guarding. They push me back, they nibble my rear guards. I'm stuffed.
But it's like, that's why I think Great Nature are up there, because they can sort of replace the
But-
plus throughout
It's
the
relying on
game.
consistency.
You say that, but that's one of our main points about the current meta. It's the consistency of the decks. MLB, I just don't think should have been up there.
I was going to move on to
But
that.
for one, but in terms of the other decks before we move on to that, because it is one of the top tiering decks that we see a lot, it's worth mentioning. Decks like Great Nature, yeah, they're competitive, but you need the combos. You need to have certain cards in your deck, like the Hamscare things, to search to thin your deck and go so you can drop your hand and then get it to your hand.
That's
You need the
example.
counter blast. You need to be a limit break to then revive them so you plus. You don't just 1 for 1. There's so many.
A prime example
variables.
was I took them to trios, and
Hey, you did well.
the ones I wasn't great locked on, I didn't have the combos.
Yeah.
I didn't have the duck bill. I didn't have the hamskate.
You didn't find duck bill.
the binoculars tied to retire things. So even if I could say when it gets retired, do this, I didn't have anything. I didn't have the combo to get the plus. I didn't have the setup I needed, which is why decks which require quite heavy setup. So like 3 or 4 important needed cards is where things struggle. That's what I see, but apparently with MLB it doesn't make a difference.
This is just it though. With MLB, again, you do need the combos, but it can be very easy because it's just that grade 2 ride, which no one seems to guard.
Why does anyone guard MLB? Jesus Christ. The grade 2 ride, you can 10k guard it, right? So you go 10k, 1 to pass.
Yeah, if they
That-
get it, they get it.
The amount of decks I see run 1 MLB and go, oh, it always hits. Who's letting that hit? Who's going, no guard, because I don't want to make go of a
Realistically,
10k.
guard it, but aside from that, they rely on that to get one, and then either have one in their hand or they star call the second one and they get it off.
Yeah.
If you don't do that, you're sitting on a 10k Vanguard, which is easy to abuse, and then you're struggling to get the effect off all game.
Yeah, and if you do get the effect off, it's snake. I went against one and I just tanky guard it. He didn't get the trigger, so I thought the whole game he just was going crap. Like I didn't have that push I needed for that first grade 3 ride. I was like, you're on 10? That's easy. Okay, drop.
But, yeah,
Easy to
the main
beat.
way I see MLB winning is just I get a crit and I crit you in that drive check. So
Yeah.
then suddenly that's 3 damage and that's
If
how
they
it
get
wins.
it off on that grade 3 ride, you mean?
Yeah, you kind of need to crit.
The only other way it only other way it will win
That's
is
like
if
constant.
you don't get that off, is that you're really lucky, get your Palamedes in the rear guards for
Not
21,
everyone runs Palamedes.
and then crit and split them up and stuff.
Or who lets people keep Palamedes alive.
Yeah, exactly.
The amount of people just go, oh, it's a grade 3, I won't attack.
That's the
I'll
only
let it
thing
go.
I see that Royals have that other decks don't. Easy access to 21 columns in the rear guard, because it's just easy enough to get Palamedes and it's free.
Yeah.
Whereas everything else, you have to counterblast one when it attacks,
Soul
you have to
Blast
get
or whatever.
like a little Soul Blast, or you put something into Soul to get 3k for the turn.
Yeah,
That's
but
the only thing Royals
that's-
have going for them at the moment.
But then again, the meta also demands that you have the ability to hit 18 in the current with cross rides and stuff. But cross rides aren't. There's not a lot of cross ride decks out there. The main ones, I think, are Dimension Police and Izel. Dimension Police, Dosha.
Blood?
And
Blood?
Blood, I don't... That's the thing, it mainly wins by getting the effect off and then cross riding, as we experienced. But...
Whatever way round it is, it's still a pain.
Oh, I just...
Whatever way round you do it.
Okay, fine, I thought about that. I don't see it as a cross ride deck, but...
You don't see the end either, because...
No, I don't see the end of the cross ride deck either.
You never cross ride it.
No, because I don't think you need to.
Well, the problem is, the moment you cross ride, it's basically saying, swing my rear guards. Come on, just swing at them, because your proxy numbers is a 5k, so I just swing over your rear
So
guard.
decks do require an 18 plus columns.
Yeah.
So it is... I don't like the way the meta is at the moment, because it's very beat sticky and... rushy. It's got as you can, it infuriates us to see these top tiering decks that apparently won like Toronto's and things, because the deck is just, it doesn't do anything. The only thing it does is like the bestialities is, oh look at hit, I put this in Sultry, stand it. So you're negging yourself to neg them, and that's all it's doing.
Yeah, but it's the constant little...
But logically...
It's the constant poking. It's the same reason Aquaforce win.
Yeah.
Again, both decks drop their hand against something like the end, and they have their card in hand, they're going to lose. Or against something that can plus very quickly, like Coco in Oracles, it's going to struggle. Because you just go, I draw, I swing over your rear guard, and like, I've really got a field now. But the fact that they've negged you so much because you didn't want to take that damage, you're struggling. But they also require you not to get triggering damage, because then it's just the easy guarding.
Yeah, pretty much. So going on to how these are going to change in the future, as you were saying earlier, the trial decks come first.
Yeah. Gold and Narukami getting their Break Rides. Gold Break Rides.
The gold Break Ride is one of those ones that we feel is actually good. Because you re-ride and you get 5k for your rear guards.
It's basically
it's a mini platinum effect.
I thought it was mini Soul Saver.
Oh, Soul Saver.
Soul Saver gave 5 to 3 units.
Yeah, it did, didn't it? Yeah, mini Soul Saver.
It's a Soul Saver, but you get 10k in the Vanguard as well. But you can do it every time. You can just go haha and then keep giving yourself like your back row.
No count plus boss or anything. As long as you got the rear guards there beforehand, you can do it, and it's just kind of silly.
Yeah. So say you drop it with like Bronzel or Platinum over your 5 and you have to counter blast. You just give them 10k area.
Or you could hold out for set 10 and do Alfred and be like,
Yeah.
yay. Because that's a silly card.
Yeah. But they're not in the current meta, so...
Well, we're talking about how it's going to change.
Yeah, that could be quite lengthy if we did.
May as well, dude.
May as well. We haven't...
Well, it's only set 10, 11 and these. I mean, realistically, Liberators are going to be stuck to Liberators because they're Liberator cards.
Yeah, that's annoying. That annoys me. If there's any deck that requires you to run a certain archetype of cards, it's frustrating because 1, it's no imaginativity. You just chuck them all in. And 2, it's very restricting, so I wouldn't want to use them because they're very predictable.
Eradicators.
Yeah, it's so I chuck Eradicators in there. Woo!
This is just
all-dimensional robos.
At the moment, it's still all-dimensional robos. There aren't enough out there.
I want more.
It is just clones at the moment, though, isn't it? You see, oh look, a 10k Liberator. Oh, we've seen that everywhere. 12k Liberator. Well, okay, yeah, fine. 11k Liberator, right break Liberator. I get it. It's the same with Narukami, it's going to be the same with Dimension Police. Blah, blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah,
but it's
blah.
just the little effects on the unique little cards. It's the difference.
Except Royals don't get that. They get stupid restrictions on them. Like, you need to have full field to get the skill, which is annoying.
Yeah, that's
So
amazing.
annoying. So annoying.
Drop your hand, bro.
Yeah. I do feel that's going to be one of the best ride breaks. I ride 10k crit. What you gonna do?
That's what.
What you gonna do? Perfect guard?
Yeah,
Can't do that every time.
Yeah, as we always say, power means nothing without a crit, is what we always go by. Because you can no guard something, and if they get a crit, then that's not 2 crit, is it? So it's fine. But, you know, we'll see as it comes out how we play. But
And set 11 is coming before 10.
Yeah, set those before 10, which is just before or after Nats this year?
It's
basically no Eradicators. So,
before...
No, you get Dauntless. Some have a fun time.
yeah, I have a fun time.
There are in when? November?
I'm not sure if that's going to be. I think it's October, late October. But I'm not sure if Dauntless is going to be one of those ones that's like Gance a lot and you can just rewrite.
No.
Yeah. I see it could be, but it does just you have to discard 3 cards.
You do it if you get a trigger on it. If not, it's like okay. Basically, if you don't get a trigger, there's no. It's like the end. There's no
Wait, so
point. It's like
it's just rewriting for the 10k. You mean?
Yeah. And if you get a trigger on it,
yeah, but also it's
then you go a heart.
But it's my break is a limit break 4, so the whole threat at the end is the fact that the entire game I've got 2 face-up damage.
Yeah, but
with a ride break,
but if you have a choice, you ride the end first anyway. But it's the backup.
Yeah.
It's
then you can't use then I need support that can hit good numbers on the rear guard because at the moment Promise helps as a rear guard thing. I don't have that in there because I can't. If that's the backup, then I can't run that. So it ruins. One, I don't like it. One, I don't like it because it's not threat the entire game, and I'd rather cross riding put threat straight away.
Right.
If I ride that first, I'm gonna have to wait until 4, or else I've just negged myself and just defeated the whole purpose.
I know everyone will do it, and I'm sorry if you think I'm silly for bringing it up, but that's assuming you're gonna run it with Dope. There are other cards out there.
Yeah, I know, and I will try other cards.
You've got the Seal of Dragons coming out, remember?
Yeah, and I like the way they run. I think they're very underrated because
they're not underrated. They just chuck them in with Dope. Dauntless, I'll just chuck those in for grade 2s because they're cheap niggles.
I like Dauntless for the sheer fact I attack, I perfect guard.
Any Vanguard that restands.
It's just a restand.
Yeah, any Vanguard which can restand.
Even if it discards your 3 cards, it's still a stupidly good card.
It's a push. But again, the rest of the deck has to be doing stuff, so just enables you to play Kagro normally.
Yeah,
and
you just go right with everything sort of retires. It doesn't need to be counterblast, does it? It's just
just discard 3 if it hasn't already restood this turn, so you can't Dope and then you don't.
No, you can't Dope and do it. So the way to get around it is you let it through and then go. Oh, I don't have. Oh, if I use Dope or use Dauntless, I can't use both.
Yeah,
you just guard the second one.
Yeah, pretty much.
So obviously Dope out of the 2.
But as Mike said, that's really going to slow down Dope. And that's the only thing really kind of keeping up there at the moment. The fact, I ride! You gonna guard? You gonna guard?
People look at you just like, you got it! Stop looking at me, boy.
Angel Feather, I haven't really looked into too much to be honest, but Ride Break, what was it? Call 1 from Damage Zone?
We're not people who guess. If you don't know it, don't talk about it.
I honestly can't remember it. I really can't. It's something like that though. Damage Zone to field.
But yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's like Curiel. Damage Zone to the field, put 1 from top to the Damage Zone.
Plus 10k.
Yeah, plus 10k.
Yeah, every deck's plus 10k.
I mean, it's Angel Feather. Somehow it's going to work out.
It's not
Healing Breath.
Hey, Angel Feather probably my most hated clan because they take so long to play against. And that Healing Breath
plus
just
2,
does
plus
my
2,
head
plus 2,
in.
plus 2, plus 2, plus... How many times is that plus 2? I've lost count.
Yeah.
So I say none.
So there you 2 Ride Breaks. And what is it? Your blue Transient Dragon.
Yeah, your
Transport Dragon, Aqua Force.
So basically, when I Ride Break, it gives 10k, and when it attacks, your opponent chooses to discard a card. If they do not, it gets a crit, and they cannot guard.
That's the thing.
If they do, it doesn't get a crit, but they can guard. It's just, at the moment...
It's meh, but the fact is...
If you compare it to something like Bermuda, you rewrite, you draw a card. It's essentially the opposite. You rewrite, they discard a card, because they don't want you to get a crit. That's all it's basically doing.
Yeah.
Because they can easily just go, well, discard, you're not getting a crit, but I don't want to guard. Yeah.
But it's if you see it as when you ride it, you hopefully have them as well on about 4 damage.
Yeah.
So they have to discard and then guard. Granted, they can just go discard, no guard, hope you don't crit if you run crits.
Come set 11, it's going to be a kind of card in my opinion.
Glory.
But if you're going even further and looking at set 13, you've got the new Tetra Drive Dragon, in which case it's kind of silly.
You can break it.
But that's really far ahead.
Right there.
Yeah, you break right glory, damage out if you need.
Yeah, damage out.
And then you just, discard, so counterblast, I have power. You discard a card so I don't get a crit, sure, but you can't perfect guard, so you have to guard 0s on my 10k, plus the 5 I get from the counterblast. Yeah. Plus the boost.
Obviously, it's better support after that, but until then, it's the better out of the 2.
Getting a crit during your drive check, though.
I just like it again because it's 11. And that's all they need. And as a backup, it's better than going for the cross ride, in my opinion,
But-
because they're two different decks.
There you break rise for set 11. So, Angle.
I don't think Angle will be
Kagero.
up there.
Oh, Tachikaze as well. Forgot that one.
Well, Tejikaze turns into... Basically, I have Death Rex. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. You gonna guard it? Because if not, I'm gonna ride break with the Death Rex. Because that works. That's annoyingly, it works.
You mean Dark Rex?
Dark Rex is a Rex. But it's the whole, I bind it. So, if you attack... Basically, it's hope I don't heal in my drive check.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's all null and void. So you go, no guard, heal, ha. Or
If not-
or guard, heal, ha. You can't do it. It's like but it will turn it into you can
Steal
you can
plus
just
10k and
crit
crit.
or retire something.
Retire 2.
Is that? Again, I can't remember. Because I think I find myself knowledgeable of the current meta and current decks and things. I don't look into the
It's
future stuff.
retire 2, draw 2.
So you want my opinion on stuff? talk
You're
about
wiping out
now.
your entire field with that one maneuver.
But you're giving yourself the crit.
Retire 3 for Dark Rex, stand, 10k crit, retire 2, draw 2. Massive hand, attack.
It's the whole you can guard and then next turn.
Yeah, I get it, but still stupid.
But it's the fact you just rewrite. It's the whole I ride break during your turn. So you have to guard my heavy.
That's
like,
the one.
The whole point is supposed to be I ride break, and then bind that Dark Rex. And then it's ha ha ha. I've got a crit as well. I drop the thing, and attack, and ha ha ha. Got a crit if you guard, so there. Like piss off. Stop, and that's why people win with it because it rushes it. You push them to 4 as and like,
It has that
they
crit.
just don't guard. People
It has
just
that
will
crit.
not guard if they run Tejikaze because they don't need to because it's I'm on 4
I think
damage.
that's one to look out for, just because that crit, though, realistically. You can do cheap little niggly, like draw 2, draw critters. Oh, look, little 10 to your rear guard. Oh, look, ride break. Oh, look, discard those 2 and draw 2 back.
It's just that's annoying. People will use it because they
But
saw it
again,
once.
they're going to be stuck with ancient dragons everywhere.
Yeah. So it's just.
So it's going to be 10k swingers, 12k swingers. Yep, that's the deck. Well done.
Yes, I don't like the fact that we're going to the meta of it has to be this kind of deck, and a lot of the decks that aren't as consistent
Again,
enough.
Aqua Force, you're going to see Revon. She's going to be attack with rear guard, attack with rear guard, attack with Vanguard.
That's not set 11 and 10, is it?
Set 11. Oh, look, it gets 2k and a crit.
What's the one where they're all rested? They're all front
That's the
row.
right chain. No, all the new Aquavores do that.
No, but there's
Revon is if they're all front rows rested,
yes.
it gets 2k and a crit or something.
No one which stands everything.
Yeah, that's the right chain. You percent lost and count lost 2 when your front rows rested, then you stand all your rear guards.
That's good.
Hit or no hit.
It's the power creep. I don't like it.
But it's the whole.
It's getting silly.
Yeah.
But we thought some of these cards might be quite
But
silly.
again,
but
it's
they're
a
not.
right chain.
They're quite balanced.
Dude,
The
again,
cards out at the moment.
Well, here's the thing. The meta is speeding up. I don't think there's a doubt about it. The
that's what
meta
right breaks
is-
have done though.
Yeah, and right. It's the whole. If I don't guard, it doesn't. But it's not that bad that I don't have to hand to guard because as soon as I get 4 and I ride break, then it's like then I can turn around and push you. Like I could compare it to. I don't know.
At least it requires a bit more thinking.
Not really, because again, you said it yourself, the decks make themselves.
Right,
That's the
not
biggest
not
problem.
deck making, but then playing them against someone. You think about what the other deck can do.
Whereas the whole.
Oh, yeah.
Can I survive if I push them to 4? No. Okay. Swing on rear guard. So there's nothing to swing on. Do I say you perfect guard with Vanguard? The crits on the rear guard. Do I want to say I'll let it through?
Yeah, no, I get that.
It's, just,
I get that
it's the
completely.
whole can I?
To be honest, it's the exact same now with Ultimate Breaks.
Yeah.
It's the exact same. Azelle, well, can I let that hit? No, can't do that. Take your rear guard, take your rear guard. Same with the blood, take your rear guard. Don't want the crit, nope, go away.
Problem with
So it prolongs the game, yeah.
but with
That's
ultimate
right.
breaks, damage adders.
Damage adders come in and play.
But
They-
with ride breaks, it doesn't.
And not enough people run them.
yeah.
That's another thing. Why do people run 2? It's like 2 in their account. I see 2 damage adders. Why?
Some people run none. I was like, who's giving you the 5 damage for the blood? Seriously, what person's saying? You know what? You can just destroy my front row. That's fine with me.
It was either that or I see people risking it. 4 damage? No guard. I crit you. Well, you lost.
That's a fair way of playing, but it's definitely not our playstyle.
It's the risk versus it's the
Risk and reward.
I want to get my 5 damage. I know you're not going to give it to me unless it's the Vanguard. No guard, and I hope you don't crit. Because at some point, I'm going to have no hand left and you will just beat me down.
Yeah. I get the idea on it, but I don't like it.
But like the problem is, the current meta is I drop early, rush, you can't do anything about it. But whereas it's going to with ride breaks, I think it's I drop early, rush, that's okay because I then ride break and I can push you back. It gives them it gives the bounce back ability.
Yeah.
Of you push me, okay, now I can push you back. Whereas now it's you push me, well I'm always now on the back foot. There's even I can use my effect, but still it's not going to do much because I have no hand.
Unless you stack into triggers.
Yeah, also, I've noticed that it's very, very beneficial to go first. In a lot of decks, it's way too beneficial.
Like I've always thought, if you're running Blonderzel, it's always been beneficial to go first. Because if you do Superior Ride, they should be.
Yeah, there's that. There's what ones are up there? The top one was the end. So if you go first with the end, I'm swinging over your grade 2 and then grade 3 with my
MLB.
With the thing MLB. You're not going to guard that effect if it goes off straight away, and if you crit them with it, then
you like I'm on grade 2. You attack for like what was it 22?
Maybe 22.
22 without a boost. So
No, 22.
With Aquaforce.
22. Same. Big number.
It's 22, but that's not the same what the boost is.
Yeah. With Aquaforce, you can when you ride grade 2, you can drop your battles and things and swing over their grade 1, and then it's still active on their grade 2, and then it becomes null and void because they ride 11k. If they don't, then you're just laughing.
No, it's the same with Novas, but you choose when to do the restand as well. That's the thing.
You can restand early if you get a trigger on it. It's like, I restand for 12, and it's got, and you just got a trigger on your 6k, so 6-7k, so it's just go over.
Or they get a trigger, you go right. I didn't get a trigger, so I'm not going to do the effect, and then that pressure's still there. It's the drop in early, and then there isn't really a counter unless you literally will go my grade 3 attacks, crit, or crit draw, just to push them back somehow. There isn't really a way to.
The biggest turnaround ever, the crit heal. Ooh, love the crit heal. So you get 2 damage, I get 1 back.
Hate the crit heal.
But it's to a point where if you can rush, if you go first and you have to hand, the problem is you have to hand to drop to rush. And this is what annoys me with the decks which win, because they seem to every game get the hand to drop to rush.
So specifically, Aquaforce, in my opinion. Because the amount of times I use it, if you get 2 or more triggers in your hand, you can't do the drop.
Yeah.
You need and the deck's just like, oh look, I dropped my hand, I have 1 card left. Well, how? How have you got nothing but 1 trigger in your hand? If you get 3, you're done.
Yeah.
If you get 3 triggers in Aquas, you can't do anything.
When I use it, I don't get a hand to drop. But yet, seeing people use it, it's just like every turn, I run grade 2, drop. And it's like, why do you always have like 4 Basils? It's just like, every turn you have that.
I'd prefer seeing get decks up there that's not that, because in a regional tournament they shouldn't be consistent enough to, out of say 8 odd games, that they in at least 2 of them it doesn't go wrong. It goes once in 8, 1 in 8 if that.
But the problem is, if it goes wrong for them, it could go wrong for their opponent. That's how they can be up there.
Sure.
It will come down to do you want to say the game is just luck when it comes down to it? Do you this is where people could get the argument for the current meta. I got the luck, I went first, and I got the hand to drop.
Yeah. Well, the hand to drop is just the way the deck works. The fact you went first, that was obviously luck. Got to turn a dice roll, and you have to go first. But yeah, I've been out triggered today, and I still won. But that was just because of skills with the end and things.
I almost lost when the guy was on Cardfight because he just kept true in every drive check, and it's like I have to keep guarding. But it's that whole they can drop and push early, but if you can, if they drop push early and you get a trigger, it seriously can nullify what they do. But again, if you get a trigger and all your hand is grade 3s, you still can't guard it all their attacks anyway.
Yeah.
Because imagine your hand an early game drop, you'd have a grade 2 and 3 in your hand. That's already 2. And if you get another grade 2, so that's out of your 5 odd cards in hand, only 2 cards can guard. One of them's probably a booster you need. So that's only 1 card you can guard with, so you're not going to guard any of the Aquaforce.
But it's having the luck to get the hand to drop to put.
And a trigger and damage. If you get a draw trigger and damage, you're laughing. But
that's why you love draw triggers.
Yeah, because in the current they're so vital.
Still win around. Not Coco.
Not in Coco, obviously, because you don't need them. Because your early draws just go,
Crits everywhere.
Crit everywhere.
But you saw the decks was top. They were 6 and 6, crit and draw.
What else was
Because
up
they
there?
needed the draw to help.
What else was up there?
Kangaroo was the most used. Gold was the second. Then it was Bermuda. Then Narukami, and then Oracle.
Now can we come a second?
Oracle.
Yeah, Oracle.
7.7%, I
A
believe.
lot of people
Underwater's
use
running.
Soulless.
Soulless, probably, because that's the only thing out of them.
Yeah, it's
Unless it's Tsukiyomi, which I don't think is consistent enough as most right chains are.
But people still like it because it's
Oh, I like
good in
it.
my stack.
I like it, don't
it's
get me
coming.
wrong, but
Because it's a unique little deck. It's a bit of fun, but I don't think it should be as... I don't know why it got banned. That's just it. Though I guess feature support, maybe.
it was just...
Everyone was using
I have
it.
stack, I have Tom, I win.
Yeah.
That's always what it was.
Yeah.
Grip on Tom.
Well, I thought they were triggers. Oh god, I didn't know you had Tom until now.
Yeah, but that's what it comes down to. It's just that I got a good stack. I got Tom. Ha ha ha.
Right breaks are going to change that.
Right
So,
break,
yeah, you've rushed me. More, I can rush you back now, finally.
Yeah, road breaks should bring it back to I can bounce back and do something. The problem with Bermuda's at the moment is the only one out. Is I can bounce back and do little.
Yeah.
I can bounce my field.
Yeah, I
I'll
can bounce my
back.
field, and only really
Again, it goes back to which ones are actually useful. The Bermuda one, I don't see it being useful. Royal Paladin, I love the bits because it's got a crit. Same reason I like the Tachikaze one, even though I forgot it. That's not the point. What else? Your Aqua Force one, it's okay.
I like
guess.
it. Negs on my card.
It just needs on the card. It's just.
Next me a card, don't Aquaforce don't have the draw power to deal with it.
See, the way I see it is, it negs to my card, and then hopefully they're at a point where you need to guard anyway. So it's that one extra card for guarding.
Angel Feather's a cheap plus out of your damage zone, whatever you like. So it's nice. You get choice over what you want.
Spike Bros.
It's always good. Oh yeah, Spike Bros.
Spike Bros are so good! My ray guns get plus 10k for some reason, they return to the deck. It's like, what?
That is silly, and yet I don't understand why I don't see it in the chat.
It's the setup. It's the setup. It requires so heavy of I need things. I need to basically break ride with Dungeon Emperor. Or else
The
I'm
Emperor's
just sending things to the deck and going,
The Emperor's back in biz.
Yeah, I think you could change it to make it work properly.
I can't wait for it. I love it.
Dudley Mason's going to be your key card, man. Dudley Mason.
Yeah, basically, we're all waiting for our support on our decks we used to run. So
Yeah.
Yuri always loved his spikes.
'Cause that's my biggest
they'll get
problem.
support, and he'll be like, oh my god, support. I always run my Grand Blue, they're my favourite clan.
You got a while.
And they're not getting enough support.
That's my biggest problem.
They
with
should
Royals
be
at the
getting more
moment.
support.
I love my rolls to bits, but they can't stand up to it because it's 10k. Sure, if I get MLB off, as we said, but
Yeah, mine's
it's not
a
consistent enough.
cross
12 is such a weird thing as well. Why is it 12? It's so odd!
I don't know.
Because it's like 17 columns?
I'm used to it with the angles.
But that's why
Keep 17s.
10ks don't work.
Attack.
So if
Okay.
If you knock out all
I
the
got
decent
triggers, I got
Vanguards,
7k.
if you knock out all the decent 10k Vanguards, because I don't think 10k is good enough.
Nope.
So you got 11k, so you got gold now, finally, with Platina, but that means it's going to be only Platina, maybe Duke. But if
Dukes always do, because it
Duke and
stands.
it's 11.
yes, but if you
you
fail the ride chain, it's on 10, and that can be abused.
I don't see Duke Chrome Jailer working very well though. It shouldn't. People use it, but I don't think as a deck it complements each other. I think it's just an okay alternative.
Well, I don't know.
Pale Moon, the best card was Lequier, 10k. Varisher 11, it's not good enough in my opinion.
Oh, you've got your Oracle one.
Oracle, what the Sun?
No. You've got your new Battle Sister thing. That's not 11.
They're
is it?
10.
They're 10. Oh dear.
From
Yeah.
isn't it?
Fromage is 10.
You haven't used it yet, so I
Yeah,
haven't
10Ks
seen
don't
it.
come to Upshur Booster 9.
Wow.
That's a long
Yeah,
way
so, but the
off.
problem is, like, I still think the current meta is 10Ks aren't good enough. You need 11, which is
Yeah.
why
But
you
it's-
see the decks up there. They
It's
have
still,
11.
it's still slow and not developed enough because there's not enough complexity in the decks. It's still just it's an 8, so I'm going to put it in the deck. It's just 7, then go to 8, so I'm going to put it in the deck.
Oh, it's the whole.
Might be, is it 12
This whole-
swingers, 10
that will
swingers?
actually change come the new stuff because no clan is getting a new 8k.
So
It's no 8k Liberator, it's no 8k Eradicator. You've still got your original 8k.
that's what people run.
Now, you
8K.
can use your 8k, but it's not a Liberator, so it will mess up the synergy of your deck a bit.
And change the count.
But it's up to you if you want to use it or not. It's little bits like that, but I don't think it's going to be much of an impact.
It comes down to I need to make 18 columns. That is what it comes down to. Anything. 18, 16 columns.
Thing is,
What cards?
with ride breaks, it's not going to be an issue unless you run all three, which would be kind of weird. But this could be done. But it depends on what you're going against. I see crotch rides as very defensive. Break rides are just I pushing you back as you push me.
I think break rides will complement a deck that can't, rush very quickly. Yeah. Break rides will be complement a deck that is offensive, and but can't guard it, or it needs to.
We forgot Nova one, by the way.
We did.
You guys.
You're the Nova player.
Attack stand 2.
No, stand your front row.
Is it front row?
Front row.
Okay, attack stand front row.
Yeah,
whatever.
Most people use it with aluminum.
Yeah.
Aluminum. You're not gonna let that go.
Nope.
Yeah, that's what people use it because it's like piece
in terms of that setup, aluminum.
Because you basically just use PT grade 1s.
Yeah.
And you're fine.
That's fine, but it's okay. I mean, you've got a few more, I guess, in set 10, but not until 13 you get your perfect guard, you get your extra bits, blah 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 blah.
But it's fat out on a special counter bar, so it's not really much of an issue.
But then again, it comes down to, oh look, B-Stakes, what are you getting? We're getting a 12k swinger. It's not anglet. It's a 12k from the start, not after the restand.
Oh, that's retarded. That's really annoying. Do you know the Grand Blue 12k swinger? Yeah. It has to be revived to get 12k. It doesn't.
You're really upset about that.
Every other deck has a 9k that goes, I swing for 12 because of said Vanguard. This one's, I have to revive it. Is it definitely confirmed?
Yeah.
It's such a rubbish
it's because you're getting like 8 cards in set 13 for Grand Blue.
Yeah.
After all these packs, you're getting 8 cards of support. It's not enough to make an archetype out of it.
No, but it doesn't mean you have to, make it harder for us.
Well, that's the thing. Just, that's set 13, that's long in the future.
Yeah, but even so.
So going back to the original point and probably summarising this discussion.
Right
God damn it, Yuri!
What was that?
Genesis.
Ride break.
What was the Genesis ride break?
Oh.
Soul charge, soul blast, something like that.
I've forgotten.
Do stupid things.
You guys talk about
Genesis.
You guys talk about Genesis. I'll look it up.
Great. They aren't up there. They aren't good enough. The only good card they've got is the one which is like.
No, that is where you're wrong. There are 2 cards I love in Genesis, and that's what kind of makes.
There's the one which is like it's not a trigger, so I keep searching or whatever.
Fortuna, which is in set 11, which we can't use until set 10 because that's when the rest of the stuff comes out.
Hybrid it with oracles because people oracles because people run that.
And there's a grade 2 and a grade 1, I think, in set 11 as well. If they are Soul Blast, if they've gone from the Soul to the drop zone, cool them. Which is amazing.
Yeah.
Really good. Carry on talking while I look up the ride break.
What?
Yeah, if you Soul Blast them.
What, so you use the starter, the Coco Scarlet Witch thing, and go.
Well, no, because they have to be oracles for starters, so you can't do it with oracles. So I'm just saying in general Genesis, because they Soul Charge and Soul Blast a lot for effects. If they've gone from the Soul to the drop zone, you just call them to the rear guard.
Seems fair.
I would really like it.
So I get no trigger, I Soul Blast. Oh right, I get units. I get trigger, goes on units.
Right, completely forgot. I don't know if we're ever getting them, but there's two ride breaks for several things.
What?
I completely forgot.
We're talking about the question was the current meta.
And set 10 and 11.
Set 10 and 11. Why are you going past it?
Well, no, this is set 11 and 10. Genesis, he brought it up.
Right.
So we're just saying the ride break to fill up all the stuff that's coming out. So when you ride a Genesis, is this the right one? Yes.
Wow.
We are professional.
I'm tired. Leave me alone.
Yeah, it is 12 o'clock at night, guys. This is like late.
When you ride a Genesis, choose 2 rear guards. They get 5k until the end of the turn. Your Vanguard gets 10k, and you can also get the skill when you attack the Vanguard, Soul Blast free to draw a card. When he attacks the Vanguard, you Soul Charge 1 and you get a K.
It doesn't even go to 13.
No, it doesn't even go to 13. So that's kind of sucky, but you get Soul.
Why?
You can Soul Blast free, just when it attacks, doesn't need to hit to draw a card, so there's your plus back, and you get 2 5s to the side as well as your Vanguard, which is kind of silly. So you're 1-for-1ing with the Soul Blast, but you're also getting 5k on the rear guards.
It's alright when Genesis aren't there, I'm sorry.
No,
Genesis
they're
is
not.
good.
They're not.
They're
They're fun, but they're not.
They don't really have the rush or the bounce back rush.
No.
Which is odd because they brought them in new. You think, oh, they could be good. No.
Trial deck, dude. Trial deck or extra booster, whatever one it is.
That's an age away. Just it's like this is what annoys me about people. Just
Right,
this
so
card's out
regardless,
of my-
Genesis ain't going to do a lot. You're going to see him because people are going to be like, oh my god, this looks like fun, but it's not going to do a lot. Royals have a crit and an 11k Vanguard, properly, finally. It's not Galahad. Kagero have Dauntless, so that's going to be everywhere. Novas have Beast Deities, so you're going to see even more Beast Deities.
Yeah, I hope none of these things are going to be overpriced.
Aquaforce have Blue Transcore Dragon, but
Everyone's going to use that with glory.
yeah, but even then, it's just going to slow the deck down even more. You're not going to use Basils or anything, because there's no need.
We could use it with normal Maelstrom.
No.
What, Transcore?
Yeah.
Can you?
Yeah.
Remind me.
It gives it 10k. When it attacks, they discard a card. You can use it with any Vanguard.
That I see.
The fact you use it with glory is you say the heavy crit down, counterblast one thing. But you can.
You can, because you have to be at 4 to activate the effect, I guess. But I like to damage add to it. But that's the thing. You won't. It will work with it fine because you don't have room in a normal Maelstrom build typically to run damage adders in. So you will be at 4 anyway to ride it, but you do have to neg yourself, and that's a little annoying. So yeah, it'll work with Maelstrom fine. But it just helps both Glory and
Tachikaze gets a crit.
I think it's 2 crit.
Just 1 crit. But the Ancient Dragon that you generally Void Break on top of it will get a crit.
Ah, yeah.
With a skill. But,
Reggie!
I like it because it's got a crit, but it's probably not going to be good enough due to the other cards in there.
I think it'll come down to it's the setup. That one requires, Tachikaze one requires the most setup to be good.
Yeah.
But when it's good, it's broken.
Angel Feather, just cheap little plus, 10k Vanguard. That's okay. There's no crit, I don't care.
Not bad.
It's just that whole power of that crit thing. It annoys me.
Well, the Spike Rose is just given the number of attacks. Screw power. We just have power and number of attacks. It's
Yeah, this is it.
Attack, boost, attack,
Face
attack.
Spike Rose.
Yes!
I'm going to rush you. Okay. Take damage. Oh, look at this Ride Break. Oh my god, rush.
It's too good at rushing. It's just...
So it would be Ride Break. Attack. It's
the fact that the things which attack is anything can attack and get the power boost.
Yeah.
It is 10k, isn't it? It's not
10k.
fun. Yeah.
So silly.
Like,
Don't even know to ride Necromos.
You're flipping the table on the old concept of early swarming and late swarming. You can do both.
Yeah.
Drop your hand and just
that's the
niggle.
thing. But you cross this out. You have to rewrite the Emperor, or else you rewrite it name.
Pretty much.
So should I summarise?
I think that's it. I think we've gone through everything.
Say that a year ago, I think it's something else now.
I'm not sure we did a really good job on summarising the meta, but whatever.
Well, I know. We summarise the meta by saying basically it's rush early decks because at the moment it's very hard to counter the back. Once you've been rushed, it's hard for you to push back.
Yeah, because the meta's too slow still. It's not fast enough.
Only certain decks can keep up with it.
Yeah, certain decks are fast.
Only certain decks can utilise said damage as well.
Yeah. And that's why MLB is good because it's it's the early rush with big power.
That's why Force is good, that's why Beast Stage is good, that's why...
But it's also, the current meta is going
Gold
first
tickers,
is too
cheap pluses
good.
of the counterblast that you get.
Yeah. Well, that's what goals good, yeah, because the restanding Duke, you've got the Vivian, which then adds an extra attack if you've got something. The deck's pretty silly.
But it's that... Do you have the cards to counter the combos or whatever? But it's also... It's just,
Yeah, just rushing. Attacks. Still don't understand why Vermilion's there because it's the slowest out of them all.
It goes there because people give them the 4 and then they go Crush Ride. So
they do. I don't get it. I've never got
and they either magically unflip with one of their 2 damage unflipping
or 1. What? The guy came second, 1 damage on flipper. I want him to email me and say how many times he got it off because geez, what? And who's letting it get off?
Who's not attacking it?
Because they think there's more up his sleeve or something. No one's done the damage adders, no one's done the flippers, no one. Yeah, so it shouldn't really be up there. But alas. that will pretty much, I believe, summarise our discussion there.
All over the place, man.
Yeah.
All over the place.
Yeah, but basically,
Well, more structure. I did say at the start of this thing that I don't think that we need to talk about something specific for a shorter amount of time, because we just deviate and we don't spend enough time on something
it's too
specific.
easy.
So,
It is.
yes, please.
Tangents!
Yeah.
So, guys, please, just comment in the description something you'd like for us to talk about, and
We want to hear your comments as well on how you think it is, if you agree with us, if you disagree with us.
If you think your Bermuda build is the best, because that's where I break it out. That I think the ride break is really bad.
I'm planning to revisit the Bermudas that you've actually spoken about, and I should say that. So I'm hoping to either correct my opinion on them or just,
Confirm it.
yeah, confirm it.
but from what we've seen in competition and how
The
you
fact
wish
that
you
everyone
got
wants
it.
to get rid of it, I think I'm pretty much right on this.
Yeah. So your opinions in the description. Anything you want us to discuss in future discussions in the description. In the comments.
Comments.
Yeah,
In the comment section.
descriptions for us, dude.
Yeah, descriptions for us. Yeah.
Well, this was a talk about stuff.
It was supposed to be about this. We're not talking about this.
So I was planning to add little taglines at times where we change what we're talking about. I don't think I'm going to do that anymore.
Yeah, that's going to be like 50 taglines.
It's going back on itself. It's how like current meta is fast. Bermuda Triangle break rides not great. In the future, some break rides are really good. Others aren't that great. I mean, I understand that's like very broad, very basic, but
So as is the meta. It's very
It's
broad.
annoying, I forgot something, but
What?
talk about it next time.
What is it?
The Rise to Royalty extra special deck thing we're getting, which is the Royal Paladin Trial deck for Daigo.
yeah, that's gonna add nothing.
It's got that. It's
Is that
just
coming
it's
to us?
Sanctuary Dragon.
Is that coming to us?
It will be. We're getting a special set on it, but I really can't be able to talk about it right now.
Don't ask about that. Just put something else.
Basically,
put something else in the comments, please.
Basically, Sanctuary Dragon. It's good. It's 11k Vanguard. It gets a power boost for each grade 1. It's silly.
Pretty much.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, the future,
That and a Ride Break is silly.
So good.
the game's gonna change. At the moment, it's if you can push early, I understand. It seems stupid, but you have a very high chance of winning. Whereas, come the break rides later on, if you push early, it gives them the chance to push you back. So you have to
You may not be ready
you have to
for it.
think when you're ready to push. Because if you don't kill them, then they can push back. Are you ready for their pushback?
Pretty much.
So at the moment, it doesn't. You just push it. You push early, and you are more likely to win because very few things can push back.
It's the format which we got title Niggly Fan.
It is Niggly 5. It's a Niggly 5 format. That's why
Five.
Aqua Force is so good. It's like Niggly 5?
Niggly 5.
Niggly 5! Oh, yeah, thank you.
So fisted, is it hit? Or what was that? Niggly Fan? Fist and soul? Fisted up? Niggly Fan. Just gets rid of the dropped hand or the card. It's oh dear. Because it's not the fact it's a Niggly 5, it's the fact it's a card. Oh, there's a good card. Another card.
Maybe don't let it through it. You can quickly turn into having 4 damage to their like 1. It's like, crap.
This is a crit involved, Jesus.
My
Done.
effect's not good enough to balance this out. But that's the game. That's the game at the moment.
But yeah, it's got hope for a heal.
Yeah. In the future, it's going. I think it's more balanced with the whole. When do I want to push?
Yeah,
Except
but
for Eradicators.
That's fair, but again, we'll have to
Yeah.
see what happens.
Well, except for Eradicators.
Yeah.
If that stays unbanned, it's stupid. But
It won't.
That isn't the break ride. That's just a card on its own.
so this is what we do, guys. you mentioned one thing and we'll just rant about it. So this is why I wanted to start this
Is this for
discussion.
the third or time or fourth time? You gonna try and sign off now?
Yeah, you wait until you try and leave this house. I won't let you leave. I will just keep talking.
God damn it.
Right, so yeah, in the comment section below, put anything you want to discuss, preferably something to do with the current format, because it'll be more informative and more...
It's interesting to hear your opinion, basically.
Yeah, so,
Also, it's easy to talk about current format because anything about the future is just speculation, what we think.
and we could be wrong, we could be like, well, you're wrong and things, but
Like,
we might well be, but we only can confirm what we've done and what we've seen, and how our opinion on current cards, because it's very easy to say something's broken in the future, you play it, it's like,
and
Bermuda is a prime example.
we could try and compare it to Japan, but the problem is, as I think Mike's proven the most, any deck, he can make a deck which will win, whereas in Japan only like 4 decks seem to win. Whereas Mike will make any deck sort of win a tournament.
What great nature.
Got boo.
That's
chocolate.
nature,
People like
Grand Blue, and like
it was
stuff like that.
It's freaking hilarious.
But
It's
yeah,
like, this guy came up to me one tournament and went. He turned to his mate and goes, "He was running Grand Blue." He's like, "Yeah, and you beat him, right?" He was like, "No." He was like, "You've always beaten me." He's like, "It's a good Grand Blue. It's not like your Grand Blue. He knows how to play it." And the same guy said the exact same thing about Great Nature. The guy was just like, "What?" He's like, "You're Great Nature." Hang on a sec.
It's the whole.
You're my Great Nature.
You can always try and compare to Japan because that's the only thing we've got knowledge of in the future. But things will be different when we get them because.
Mainly due to the timing of when releases happen.
Things will be released oddly.
Yeah, and the amount of people use certain decks are different.
Yeah.
The best one we do.
I hope it's not that a nationals issue.
Well, I do. It's quite easy to defeat these days. It's too slow. If you're going to get right enough, GG.
Anyway.
Sign off.
Do a little present time.
For the 5th time or for the 6th time.
Do you want to sign off?
You can sign off.
You don't get trouble in
You're good at it. You're good at it.
Am I? It doesn't seem it. I can't seem to finish it.
Come on, mate. 5th time's a charm and all that.
Right, so, as you might have heard, the comment section exists.
For your views.
Yeah, for your views and opinions. And preferably something in the current format, as we just explained. That would be much better too, so please do that. Other than that, thank you for listening. Feel free to like, comment and subscribe. And we'll all see you guys later.